Hello all and welcome to the virtual information session for the online Masters in Education and Learning Design and Technology. Today I'm going to give you a brief overview of the program and introduce myself, Zachary Bergling, and Dr. Newby.
Hi.
So again, welcome. Pleasure to have you viewing our information session here. A little bit about myself. Again, my name is Zach Bergling. I am the programmatic expert. Been in higher ed for over 15 years and over 23 years in overall customer and student service. I have my bachelor's in business marketing and history, along with a master's in IO Psych. A little bit about Purdue. As you can see, it's ranked 18th nationwide among publicly held schools and universities by U.S. News and World Report, ranked number 51 nationally. Students from over 134 different countries are located here, part of the Big Ten, and this particular program is ranked number 8th for online program in the United States by U.S. News and World Report. So as far as for why LDT, Learning Design and Technology, might be a good fit for you, the program is actually able to be completed in less than 2 years. We do give you up to 5 years to actually complete the entire coursework if that's necessary. Also, we do encourage that you're able to incorporate what you are learning with what you are doing in your current profession or academic pursuits. As far as for meeting the life and obligations, students typically are only taking one 3-credit course at a time. So that enables them to marry both work, life, and their pursuit on their education. The curriculum is really a very innovative applied science degree where you're actually able to utilize what you are learning currently and what you are doing, whether that would be through K through 12 education, military, Department of Defense, DEA, business and healthcare, as you can see, but a wide variety of individuals have taken the next steps in pursuing higher education to help them and assist them in their trajectory and their career in the profession. Today we are greeted, and again, thank you very much, Dr. Newby, for attending. As you can see, he's a very well-esteemed individual here with Purdue. If I'm not mistaken, been overseeing the program for well more than a decade. So I'll turn it over to you, Dr. Newby.
Well, thanks, Zach. And I'm very happy to be here to talk about a program that is very close to my heart. I've been with the online program since the very idea of it coming into fruition back more than a dozen years ago, as we were talking about how we can best serve our students and reach those students that are in the online environment and that area. So we brought some faculty together to create what we think is a very excellent program. That's a high demand program and a highly demanding program that will produce individuals that are very well skilled in the area. So as you can see from my background, we have a lot of research in the area, and a lot of that research deals specifically with online instruction and how to best and be most proficient about that. And that's the way it is with most of our faculty members within learning design and technology. So let's just jump into the program and talk a little bit about it, what it's all about. As you can see, there's a need out there for instructional designers, both at the K-12 education and also within the business and industry and there is a room there for individuals who are thinking about switching from one direction to the other. We have a lot of K-12 instructors that enjoy that, but would like to look and see if there's other areas that they can also teach within, also work within, but in a different area, different environment. So they work here as instructional, they learn the background with instructional design so that they can switch over and work in business and industry. And we have a lot of individuals that do that. Other ones that just want to hone their skills within the profession that they've chosen, and they are looking to see how they can do that in certain ways. And we offer the courses that are necessary to build that skill background. You can see also from the numbers over there that from an instructional coordinator, from training and development, what the mean average is. It really depends on where you live and how you want to work and what type of profession that you want to go into to find out. But there are huge needs out there for instructional designers, and that's what we'll train you how to do and what you can do from both of those fields. Right. The mission of the LDT. It's interesting to think about it. We want to prepare the very best instructional designers that we can. We're very proud of our program. We're very proud of our institution. Purdue University is one of the best universities in the world. And we have a faculty that reflect that we work very, very hard. We are a Research One institution, so that we put the background that is necessary into the research so that we can have the top of the line programs that we offer. We have individuals within the learning, design, and technology of the world renowned for the work that they do. And we can talk about those more in a little bit within this program. But this program has been designed specifically to really help you to actually become the designer that you need to be. So it's all project-based. It is all heavily in discussions. You're going to find individuals within the course itself, led by a faculty member, but on the other side of it is all of the students that are there that are bringing in these vast backgrounds that they have. And putting that together with it, it's just amazing to go into those discussions and to see what it is and how the students add and the challenges that are there and the practical advice that is being given and how it works in the real world, and that will help you to grow and to become the person that you need to be with this background, so that you can accomplish all that is necessary. So that's our mission: is to prepare individuals that you're ready to do this. When you leave the program, you'll be ready to step in. And see it. We see it from our alumni all the time. I get letters back from them and tell me I never dreamed that I was able to do something like what I'm being asked to do right now, and that I'm being able to accomplish, and that they're appreciated in the work that they do. And that's what we're after: is produce individuals that are comfortable in that environment and able to do those things. Let's go to the next one. There's a number of different classes, as you can see here, some of which are core classes and other ones which are going to be, core means that they're going to be required. You're going to need to take these. And then there's also selectives and there's electives that you can take, which is based upon your desire and so that you can kind of mold your plan of study so that you're getting out exactly what you need from this program. So just as a couple of examples on these programs, for example, jump down there to the bottom one on the left there. It's talking about EDCI 572. That's the Introduction to Learning Systems Design. That's basically our introduction to instructional design. And you will actually jump in as a group and you will develop certain instructional materials. And you work through the whole process. What are all the steps that need to be done? They lay the foundation so that you can understand that. And that's the basic instructional design course. And the basic way that we teach is which you get your hands dirty, you get right in and you're working on that. So it's an exciting course. It teaches you all the steps that are necessary. Then we have other courses, for example, the 569 class, which comes afterwards, that teaches you, okay, if this is how we learned in 572 about how to design the instructional material, how do you do that in an e-learning or an online environment and some of those things? How do we enhance that learning in certain ways? And so we'll go into all different kinds of activities, all different kinds of instructional interventions that can be integrated in electronic formats so that you can do it, and using those type of things. We have courses on human performance technology. What happens when instruction isn't necessary? Perhaps there's some things with ergonomics that need to happen within the learning environment. What can we do to structure things so that we can make sure that individuals are performing at the top level? And how do you analyze to figure out what it is they need? Perhaps it's motivation that is changed. They know the information, they just aren't doing it. What do you do in those kind of situations? All of that is found within that 528 course, the human performance technology. We have one that towards the end, well, maybe I can start with the beginning. There's one on 60001. That's the introduction to demonstrating professional competencies. And we'll explain that competencies a little bit better, but it's you start very early and say, this is what you need to be able to show when you get to the end of this course. And all this coursework is how it all ties together and how you can put your portfolio together. And then at the end of all of the coursework, after you've gone through all the core courses and all the selectives and stuff, there's the 573 course, which is the Instructional Development Practicum. Now that you've learned all this stuff, can you do it? So we have you go out and do an individual project where you select the place that you're going to work. So if you wanted to work within the health industries, you find a place that you can work within. We put that practicum together and we develop projects that are very real world because they're actual projects that are needed and you get to show. And I teach that course all the time, so I'm really excited about that. But the thing about that course is that it's amazing. And the work that the students do is amazing. I think sometimes they surprise themselves, and I'm surprised every semester, but it's just a delight to see individuals actually perform to the level that they only dreamed about being able to do. And they produce these materials that people come back to me and just say, this is the most wonderful thing that anybody's ever done for us, being able to do this. We have students doing projects all over the world, and they're pretty amazing when they get done. And that comes at the end. So you're building towards that, and you find out that the work that you're doing really has value, and you're able to be right in the middle of it and creating things that are great. So these are the core courses that are here. You will be going through all of these courses to make sure that you accomplish everything that you need. The next slide shows us a few others that are electives that you can get within. For example, you can do things like video game design. There's courses on the 560 course, which I've taught frequently. It's educational technology and teaching and learning. That's all the various different kinds of technology. Which ones can you do and how can you do it? And can you get experience with a variety of those things? And so that course really allows you to explore various different kinds of technologies that are specifically made for enhancing learning within individuals, and how you can learn from those, and also how you can get expertise with using those, so that then you can use the various technologies in all the work that you do. There's also a course down there, one that's very popular now is the Articulate Storyline course, specifically on a specific type of technology. This has been the #1 requested course that we've had for a long time. We finally got this put together a couple of semesters ago, where that you can come in and actually learn all about Articulate Storyline, so that you're very, very high level e-learning type of courses. And this is the kind of application that is necessary within most professional instructional designers and most corporations that need that, is something along the line of Articulate Storyline or Captivate, or some of the others that are very similar to that. But if you got the Storyline course, that'll help out quite a bit. You can also see other ones, the general electives, things like the 588 course, Motivation Instructional Design. How do you get individuals to actually invest effort into things? You can have the most beautiful, wonderful course in the world, but if they don't invest any effort into it, the learning is really limited. So what do you do to enhance that? And how can you do that? So motivation is a big driver in all of this. And so we have a course that's specifically about that. Other courses such as project management. One of the things within my practicum course that students are surprised about is how much they have to know about project management in order for their projects to be completed correctly. And we have a specific course about that. Many of you will be going out into positions soon, if not right at the beginning, as instructional designers, where you're beginning to manage projects. And how is that done? And actually manage other individuals. So we have a course management class on that, or an instructional design project management course that works out really well. So you can see we have a wide variety of courses, and all of those courses are to help you to hone your skills so that you can go out and feel confident in capabilities and being able to design the most effective, the most efficient, the most appealing instructional materials that are possible. And I have to tell you, it's one of the most rewarding careers that you can have, helping other individuals to actually learn. I love telling my students, you get to take a student or a learner from a position of not being able to do it to the position of where they can do it. And you can do that reliably. It is so much fun to see that happen, where you can get individuals to say, I can't possibly do that. And then at the end, they're going, I don't believe how you've helped me so that I actually have created, or I've actually now been able to do that, which I never thought possible. And that's where the big reward is here. And that allows us then to do our profession and to create the materials that we want and the motivation behind it. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so how do we get you there? There are various and different ways that we can accomplish that. One of the things that we have at Purdue that I don't believe is anywhere else, we worked very strong on micro-credentials and the idea that there are certain things that you can do to create and to learn specific capabilities and to demonstrate that you've got those capabilities. So we have divided up a number of these individual badges, if you will, they're technology badges. And I put them in 3 different categories, but basically there's some basic technology badges. For example, if you come into our program and you want to be able to demonstrate to some other individual, perhaps someone who's going to be hiring you later down the road, you want to be able to show that you have learned certain video editing skills. Well, we have a badge for video production and editing. That means you go through and you have certain challenge levels, and you go through and complete those challenge levels. And then you're awarded at the end, after you've reached a certain mastery level with that, you're rewarded a badge, which is an electronic badge, which can be put on your resume or in your LinkedIn profile and other areas. And if anybody wants to know what was it that you did, instead of just getting a course grade at the end, I got an A in the instructional design class, which may mean a lot to you, but it doesn't mean anything to an individual who's hiring you. But with the technology badge, they can click on that badge and it will come out and say, this person did these types of things to be accomplished here. It shows you exactly what your credential is for and how you've accomplished it. So we have things we have research, or we have in this category, we have video production, we have podcasting, we have presentation tools, various different ones, website development, all of those kind of things that you can get that. If you've already got skills in that area, and you want to just demonstrate that you've already got it, you can just turn in your materials to us. And if they qualify for the badge, we just immediately give you the badge. So your past experience can also be used to immediately get the credentials that you've been searching for, so that you can be able to show individuals that you've got these kind of skills. So those are all the different kinds of badges that we have. We have badges, of course, on articulate storyline. We have it on interactive e-learning. We have badges on different, your emerging technologies, that you understand that. You have things like online communication and collaboration and how those things are accomplished. So you see these kind of technology badges are always available. You can work on them both during your program and even after your program. For a number of months after your program, you can continue to work on these badges and get those credentials when you've accomplished those things and shown masteries in those levels. So we're really excited about this, and this is a very big addition to the program that you and you will have, and also as an alumni of the program will have access to. Let's go to the next slide. Another thing that we have are these competencies. You need to be able to demonstrate to us that you've actually accomplished the things. Not only that you've got a grade in the course, that you've gone through the course, but what it was within the course that allowed you to show that you actually have the skills that were being taught within that course. So we have a number of competencies that you need to be able to demonstrate your competency within. All right. And so we have this list of competencies that need to be accomplished. These are the objectives, the overall what needs to happen. And then you have courses and projects. So as you go through the courses, there are certain competencies that are matched up with that. Your class within the opening class that you'll have will explain all of this. That will show how you make that connection between what the competency is and what you've done in the courses and your coursework and in your practicum experience and other things that associate with that to demonstrate that you've accomplished those competencies. And then we put the portfolio on there, and that's the place where you report out. So you'll say, in my 572 class, I did this thing, which shows my accomplishment of these competencies, and you'll write a reflection on that. So your portfolio is a website that you've developed that shows exactly what you have, what you've done in your coursework and why it has accomplished. You'll reflect on that and show and discuss why it has accomplished the competencies that are there. So we then have, at the end, you have this portfolio. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it shows exactly how everything connects together. Again, it's a way in which you can show other individuals that you have the competencies that you have. That will be your personal portfolio that you carry with you into the job market. So that's that. Go to the next one, I think. Yeah, and this, I've probably already explained a lot of this, but it consists of these actual artifacts that you have completed within your coursework and these written reflections. So it has these artifacts, and then it also has the reflections that you go through. And so you have this beginning course, You have a certain gate that you'll go through to make sure that you're keeping up with your portfolio that's being developed as you're going through it. And then the final class that you take is the 60003 class, something like that. And that is the one where they check off to make sure that you've got everything done with your portfolio. That portfolio then is shared with your major professor, and he or she goes through it. I'm one of those, and I go through it and I check off and make sure that that you have completed everything that is needed within that portfolio to make sure it's kind of your final exam. It's your final way of getting through it's your thesis, if you will, that's getting through your master's program. We check that off to make sure all of those reflections are correct, that they look good, that your whole portfolio just shines and shows what you've accomplished within the program. And let's see, as an online student at Purdue, you will be going through quite a bit of, well, I don't know, for many people now, we've gone through all different kinds of experiences with COVID and other experiences that we've had. We've learned to work online a little bit more than we would have otherwise, and other things. As a student, you're going to be working in an LMS. You'll have classes or every one of your classes will be within, it's called D2L Brightspace, but that's the learning management system that we have. It's very effective. I love using it. It's very simple that you have that. And Zach, were you going to explain some of the other things that are on here? I guess these are all the requirements that are there, and I can go through.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to, because this is more of my area of expertise. So
Zach, you have to learn that once Dr. Newby gets going down the hill, it doesn't stop.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love learning. So there is an asynchronous aspect of the program, so that you are able to log on whenever it is best available for you. So you can essentially log on at 12 o'clock in the afternoon or 12 a.m. in the morning, whatever works best. Again, we do have students from all over the world that are taking part in this program. So, if we require them all to log on at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, that's just not a practicality. All of our students are busy professionals, so we allow them the opportunity to design their day around their education and not their education around their day. So whatever works best. Again, everybody's busy, so we totally appreciate that. If you weren't busy, you wouldn't be doing the program distance ed. There is a very strong emphasis on faculty and peer engagement, as Dr. Newby had kind of alluded to earlier. We have students from a very, 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 very dynamic background. So again, quite a bit of what you're going to be learning is that self-discovery through peer interaction that we are just absolutely thrilled to encourage, support, and engage upon it as well. As far as for being 100% online, there are opportunities for live interaction as well, not only with your given professor via office hours or things of that nature, but also your peers in the program, many of which are very just as motivated as you are. So they're excited to actually talk about it. They're excited to learn about it. They're excited to share their experiences and the innovations that they've had. We do have an expectation of 15 to 20 hours per week of coursework. However, I have met many of students come back to me and say, I could have done it in 15, I could have done it in 20, but they get just so enamored with the work that they're doing, and they're going through a very creative phase, and what was 10 is now 11. So it's very, very interesting and very encouraging to see that as well. But again, everybody is absolutely busy, so a lot of the time this is going to be building on things that you have already known before in the past, done, or looking to get better at and more proficient with, which ultimately leads to a higher quality of life.
Zach, if I could jump in for just a second, I just wanted to emphasize the point here that at Purdue we demand high levels of excellence. It's just the rigor is there. It really is. This is not a fluff course. If you're looking for a fluff program, it is not that. All right, but it is also realistic. We understand the demands that you have, but we want you to use those demands, use those things that you're learning in the real world and incorporate those within the work that you have here. So you can put those things together. Again, it's demanding, it's rigorous program, but that's what you deserve. And that's what you need to have. When you get done, you're going to be at a level that is higher than what you even expected it to be. And that's better, or that's the way that we want it to be. This is not something for, if you don't have these kind of times to put into it, you really shouldn't be involved in it. But if you do, it's going to be well worth it, and you'll find that it's a very enriching experience.
So frequently asked questions, and I'll love to rebound any of these off to you as well, Dr. Newby, and if you'd like to interject as well, more than happy to engage upon that. So I don't have an education or technology background. Will I be able to keep up with the coursework? If you're motivated, if you're dedicated to it, yes, you will be able to keep up with the coursework. A lot of times individuals come to me and they ask, well, I'm in this position now, and they're asking me all this stuff, and I'm really struggling, but I'm managing it. I'm barely making it through it. Well, this is going to help you be even better and more successful at it. What types of backgrounds do the LDT faculty have? Dr. Newby?
Yeah, I can respond to that.
I think you would be the best one on that one.
Yeah, Purdue is, like I said, a Research One institution. It's our faculty are very highly respected in their field. And actually, the individuals that have created these courses for you, that have done the background reading, that are actually teaching the courses, are in many cases world renowned for the work that they've done. You will be reading many articles that they actually have written themselves, that they have done the research and the backgrounds for. Not all of them, but because we have great colleagues that we work with. But the idea is that you're dealing with people that are right there, that have understood the field, that when we go to conferences and other people come to us to listen to what we have to say about these type of things. That's not, I don't mean to be, bragging about it, but the idea is that this is a very high quality institution. And we have high quality faculty members that are very well known in their field. And those are the individuals that have designed your courses and are leading the courses and are teaching within the courses. So you're going to be actually, participating with these individuals. It's a great place to be going to school and be learning.
Well, I think, Dr. Newby, it's not that you're trying to impress, you're just impressing upon the fact that these are individuals that this has been a life's journey for them. So definitely well established, but also very, very reasonable and reachable as well. So you are able to communicate with them on a very
you're going to find out that they are very excited about what they have to teach you. And that's it, because they live and breathe it. And that's the important thing. So you'll get excited about topics that they're excited about. And I think that just makes it just that much more fun to be learning when you're individuals are that way.
And that's one of the things that we look for in our initial conversation coming into the program, is just the excitement level and the motivation behind it. Yeah. So what are some of the career options and potential growth opportunities for learning design and technology? Dr. Newby touched on it before, how COVID has made the world a little bit different, if you will, as far as for remote learning, remote working, that sort of thing. But also as well, he did touch on that it is not only for your K through 12 educators that are looking for potentially a path out of education. It's also for those individuals that are in training and development that have been doing it for a long time and just looking to get better with what they're doing. So, Dr. Newby, do you want to add on to that as far as for growth and development, career opportunities, if you will?
I think from discussions with our students is that some of them are coming in with a very specific thing. They've been asked to do things in the work environment, whether it's K-12 or in business industry, that they're not understanding why, or that they've been around and they've always tried it the same way, but they don't know why it's working or why it's not working, and they don't understand it. We provide the foundation so that they can walk away and say, now I know why I should do it this way versus this way, and why it works in this case, but it won't work in this case. We help them to understand that. So they go right back into the position, but it elevates them in being able to justify the work that they're doing. There's other individuals who come into the program and really have that same view. I want to enhance the workload that I'm doing, but they get in and they see a new vision of where they could potentially go. and work with others. They talk with the different students that are in those areas within their coursework and stuff, and they find out that, wow, this is an area that I could expand in, and now it gives them a new challenge and a new level to work towards. And so they switch careers because of now the new capabilities that are there. So it can really help for enhancing. It help for you to see potentially other areas that you can find real joy and enjoyment in a career that offers those kind of possibilities.
Mhm. And I think this whole conversation has really answered the next question: what makes Purdue Learning Design and Technology program stand out? Uh, um, Pretty much from not only the badges that you acquire, the motivations and excitement of your professors, but the quality of learning that you are going to be taking upon yourself, and the flexibility of the program. So there's a lot, I think, just out of this conversation that would answer that. Dr. Newby, is there any, since the program is always enhancing itself, do you see yourselves going into any of the AR or augmented reality or artificial
Yes,
intelligence things?
we're constantly upgrading and looking for new avenues that we need to be exploring, and our faculty members right now in VR and AR and all of these other areas that we've got AI instruction and how we're going to be using that. We're working on many different type of courses that will also be. The way that it actually happens is that we start talking about it within the courses that we currently have, and then we see it gets to the point where we need additional courses and additional credentials in those areas, and we start to add those type of things, and those are always in the works. So it's being developed even as we talk about
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Ranked number 3rd for most innovative university in the nation. So are you ready to apply? The requirements are pretty steadfast and straightforward. Resume, official transcript, statement of purpose, 3 letters of recommendation, obviously an online application, an application fee. I again would be more than happy to walk you through any and all of these steps to make your transition to Purdue University West Lafayette as extremely smooth as possible. But again, no GRE, no GMAT, no heavy test requirements. Pretty much, again, just the straightforward resume, transcripts, statement of purpose. We did add on the academic essay as well. But again, you'll have individuals here on the admissions side that are more than happy to walk you through this process. Thank you all very much for joining us. You do have the online.purdue.edu where you can send in any questions, comments, concerns. We're looking to help you. Online programs at admissions@purdue.edu, and obviously our toll-free number located at 877-497-5851. Other than that, thank you very much for spending your time and joining us for this information session. Dr. Newby, if you have any other thing else to add, you're more than welcome to, but thank you very much for your time. It was great listening and learning from you as always, and I appreciate all that you do.
I just wanted to say thanks to you for inviting me to come in and talk about a program. And again, I love the program. I think that it's one of the very best there is. And I think that it will have an impact on your life. It's something that will challenge you, but it will raise you up to the point of being able to be very knowledgeable about the field that you have, and it'll be very helpful in your future success.
We'd love to assist you through it.
Yeah.
Oh, it was great again speaking with you today, Dr. Newby. Thank you very much for your time. Again, my name is Zach Bergling, and I'd be more than happy to walk you through the initial portions of the application process and get you started on your new journey.